Pakatan has a growing concern with indications of electoral fraud, and so that the Malaysian public are fully aware that we have to come out in maximum numbers on Sunday to vote to overcome the possibility of this fraud. There are three aspects of this fraud which have been highlighted earlier. I'm going to reiterate that. One is the massive numbers involved in the so-called postal voting process, where over 250,000 people have been issued postal ballots, and the concern that was pointed out by Dr. Sri Ibrahim, I believe in the press conference yesterday, where now we've identified over 50,000 are actually issued to media personnel. So it seems shocking that suddenly the media industry in this country has grown to 50,000. Who are these 50,000 people who've been issued postal ballots and who have apparently cast those ballots? So that's one main area of concern, because there is no transparency in the process. We don't know where these ballot papers are being kept. We don't know whether what's being done with the ballot papers. And we only know that, of course, in the established process, that these ballot papers will be opened on Sunday at 5 o'clock and they will be counted. And we know from previous history that it is those postal ballots that are suddenly used to transfer, to change the outcome in that particular constituency. The second concern is about the security of the ballot papers used in the early voting process. We know, of course, the ballots are, the boxes are sealed. We know that they're being kept, for example, in Subang, the boxes for Subang constituency are being kept in the USJ police station. But we still remain concerned, because if we have the same concerns about who is actually having access to that process, because we have been told you can't access, we can't watch those ballot boxes, and they will be kept in so-called secure places like lockups and only open on Sunday. So our concerns remain about those ballot boxes. Third is this now emerging information about large numbers, and we're talking about 40, 50,000, possibly even more voters being airlifted from Sabah, possibly Sarawak as well, to come to vote in critical seats in West Malaysia, with a specific focus on Selangor. So, and we see now the flip-flopping position of UMNO Barisan Nasional, initially denying it, and now finally saying, yes, we accept that those flights are real, it's actually happening, and some friendly people are paying for them. We're not concerned about who's paying for them, we're concerned about who's sitting in those planes and coming to vote. That is the issue. We're concerned about whether those people are legitimate voters or fraudulent registrations. And that is the concern. Who are these people? Who are these people who are flying tens of thousands from Sabah to vote in Selangor? Are they real Malaysians? Are they fake Malaysians who've been illegally given blue ICs and registered? And if that's the case, then officials in the SPR, the Home Ministry, are acting in conspiracy to commit an offence which is, for me, I think, comparable to treason, where you commit treason on the interests of the Malaysian people to a free and fair election by allowing this to happen. And again, we reiterate Pakatan's warning to all officials, public servants who are involved. If we find you involved in this process later, the full weight of the law will be thrown at you if you are found to be involved. Under new Pakatan right government, please take note that these acts, any senior civil servant from the SPR, or the other ministries established to be involved in any of these, will meet the full weight of the law. Because this is an offence which we will treat as a very serious offence, where you undermine the very integrity of the entire the democratic election process in Malaysia. We reiterate that warning today. And I will conclude by saying that there is more information coming in respect of these flights of people coming across to Semenanjung, Malaysia, and early morning, tomorrow morning, we'll be releasing to you more detailed information on those flights.
Yesterday, Tengku Anand has issued a statement regarding the flights. I think he said that this was actually paid for by the friends of PN, and they're actually transporting registered voters, legitimate Malaysian voters, to go back to their home towns and do everything. How do you react to that?
Yeah. Well, as I said just now, the issue was not who's paying for those flights. That was not the concern. The concern is the legitimacy of the voters he claims to be legitimate. Then tell us the details. Then let the SPR explain. Who are these large numbers who are flying back from Sabah to vote in Semenanjung? I mean, are they, okay, let's say, are these people supposed to be West Malaysians who've been voting, who've been now living in Sabah, and then who are now flying back to vote? Is that the case? Then tell it to us, give us the details. That seems something quite easy to prove, isn't it? Why can't you prove it to us? Don't make bare assertions. Show us the details, because prima facie, on the face of it, it's highly suspicious. So I have displayed a highly suspicious act. The onus is on you now, as the authority, to explain. That's what he has to understand. And the authority that needs to explain is the SPR as well. To explain why these large numbers are moving back. Yeah. So we find the explanation of Tengku Anand unacceptable. It doesn't meet the point that we are making, and that suggests even more that there is a cause to be concerned about when his explanation doesn't meet the point we are making.
Do you plan to release any of the documents or any of the documents that you have?
Yeah, as I said earlier, more information, more details are being made available to us, and will be released tomorrow.
Do you want, about Miloswam, do you want the IGP to come out and explain whether this document is indeed true since he's arrested under
But my Pakatan position today is that there is no basis to hold Miloswam, release him immediately, and if you still want to claim that he has breached the Official Secrets Act, charge him in court immediately. But if they charge him in court and claim then therefore that this document is valid, then the Ministry of Home, or the Prime Minister and the Minister for Home Affairs have a lot of explaining to do as to why this information has been withheld from the Malaysian public. I mean, if this scenario is actually real, which I pretty much doubt, but if it's real, then what are you doing about it as a responsible government, or as a so-called responsible government?
So you want him to be charged in court?
I want him to be released immediately. I think the fact that they're applying for remand today is politically, it's politically motivated and it's oppressive. Yes, ma'am.
If there's a very close election result, for example, just a difference of 15 to 20 seats, would you put it down to all these cases of electoral fraud, and would the opposition protest against the results?
We'll take it one step at a time. Yeah. I think our focus now is to alert the Malaysian public. And we ask you as the media, Malaysian media, to play that role, to communicate this information. If we are wrong in our assertions, then we want the authorities to answer us. But answers like Tengku Anand's answers don't meet the point. So this is the problem. The Malaysian public, who are the ultimate stakeholders in this critical election, have a right to know this. And that's why we are raising these issues here today. And we are calling upon Malaysian voters to come out in a maximum turnout to make sure that this fraud does not stop the will of the people from coming through. Yeah? That's our purpose today. But as I said earlier, and I repeat that morning, if there's a new Pakatan right government formed, then the officials who are established to be involved in all these acts will face the full force of the law.
Postal votes 50,000, how did you get the figures from DC?
No, I'm repeating the figure, the 50,000, the 250,000 is an SPR figure. The 50,000, I'm repeating what was reported, what is it, Bama? Media industry. Came out in the media yesterday.
If I'm mistaken, media, I think all of us collectively was 6,000.
Yeah, but the figure being thrown around, I mean, the figure being mentioned by, I'm just repeating what he said. Yeah. Unless you have a different figure. From the SPR.
It's 250, right?
250 is the total. Is the total.
Which includes 230,000 EC workers, right?
Sure, I'm repeating the figure that was basically said by him. But we'll check on it again. What figure do you have from SPR? What figure do you have?
If I'm not mistaken, security forces and workers will give about 250, 260, 1,000 before. I think media, I think it's those odd duty, I think 6,000 was.
On usually that day who have exercised the right to a postal ballot. Okay, that's where we're getting different figures. We'll check it out. We'll check it out. But the concern is the transparency of that process. You know? And for us from the beginning, just to conclude on that point, from the beginning we had objected in principle to the idea that election workers should be given the right to postal vote. We've objected because, and we said there was no logical reason why they should be given a postal vote. I'm talking about now about the 250,000, whatever figure, let's say the election workers now, the SPR workers, yeah. Right from day one we've said no to that, but this was overridden and they were given the right to postal vote. Our position was, at most they should be given the right to they should be given the early voting process, which is logical, which has been given to the military forces and the police and their spouses. So our position was that allow all of them to vote early, and that's it. Not do a postal vote. The difference being, the reason being, the postal vote process is completely opaque. It's not transparent. We don't know who marks the ballot paper. We don't know where it's kept. We don't know whether it's tampered with. And those are all very serious concerns. That is why we've fought for change of the postal vote process for the army and the police, and which was ultimately obtained. Yeah? That change was done. So the concerns are, you know, why did you have such a huge number voting through the postal process? And you know, when we were able to shift the entire military and police and responses to a much more transparent early voting process. You know, in my constituency in Subang, I have about 4,000 odd early voters, all the previous postal votes. And you can see the response from the military personnel and the police is so much happier now, because now they really feel that they participate as citizens. They have, and they know their vote is secret. It's a much more transparent process. They don't have to worry about the process like it was done before. Any other questions? Okay, thank you very much. We apologize again for Dr. absence. It was quite unavoidable, but his statement will be issued in due course later today. Thank you.